Okay, apologies in advance. Welcome back. This is Tim with the University of Vinyl. Today I was thinking about this and wondering if I should do this or not. And this is kind of a self-indulgent video. I'm gonna throw that out there. Any middle-aged to advancing aged white male talking about records on YouTube, yeah, it's self-indulgent. So there's that. But I want to talk about the last 6 months of my collecting journey and the inordinate amount, the outstanding amount of white label promos that I have been uncovering and finding on my various digs. These have all been found in person at various record stores, typically around Colorado, but a few other places in my comings and goings. And you just have to celebrate the wins sometimes. I'm just going to kind of rifle through these and maybe do a little bit of a riff on the record. I may linger on one and just kind of move through the others, but I just wanted to kind of share the joy of collecting records. And if you are if you are a seasoned audiophile, these are the finds that you're looking for in your own kind of collecting journeys. Hopefully, you're looking for unique pieces. And what I like about white label promos are, instead of just a little gold stamp and you get a standard label, white label promos, they went to they took the extra mile and they did a limited print run on a white label that was limited in scope and in print and in press. These were sent out to radio stations primarily, record reviewers, record executives, management, band members, and they were the first run. These were off of the first stampers, the early stampers. Do we have to bring it up again? Were these hot stampers? Well, with my ears and with my system, some of these I have had audiophile pressings. Indeed, I've had one steps. And those are now listed for sale, or they have been gifted or passed on. That's how good I think these sound, especially if you can find them in relatively, really, they need to be near mint. And the thing about these white label promos, if they weren't languishing, in a radio station in play rotation, sometimes these were delivered and for whatever reason, maybe they were spun once or twice. I know of cases here in Colorado. One of my favorite record shops is Driver 8 Records, and the owner, Charles, lucked into an incredible collection that was in storage since 1985. It was a manager for a limited chain of record shops here in northern Colorado. And he was sitting on just a stockpile of white label promos, and I've gotten several of those that I'll show. They look like they've never been played. So let's get started with the white label promo flipathon. This is, I've got the one step. Still crazy after all these years. What a fantastic Paul Simon. We've got a little glare here. There it is in all its glory, the white label promo. You're always going to see at the top here or somewhere, not for public sale or demonstration only, promotional copy, etc., etc. And if you look at the matrix numbers on these white label promos, they're usually, you can tell, they're like 1A or 2A, 1A, 1B, things like the early cuts by telling the matrix. So there's number one. I found this, where did I find this? Several months ago. I think I picked this up in Boulder, Colorado at Paradise Found. This is a real fun one. Penguin, Fleetwood Mac, the Bob Welch era. And the Bob Welch era is really kind of overlooked and forgotten these days. And you don't always see, there's like a special hype sticker with the actual tracks on the record, and you've got the kind of iconic Warner Brothers white label. And with Warner Brothers, I've got a promo, Neil Young Harvest. It's not a white label, unfortunately. It's the Rust, the Amber, Harvest, Reprise label. But I did, of course, have this. So I'm not showing that today because it's not a white label. This is strictly white label promo day. And there is that Warner Brothers, actually the Reprise for Penguin. Standout tracks, Bright Fire is a good track. That's a good Bob Welch. I think he wrote that. Yes, he did. Christine McVie has some standout songs on all of those Welch era records, but this was fun. I actually think I found this at Paradise Found as well, maybe on the same trip. A telltale sign when you find a white label promo, or when you think you're finding one, you may see the gold stamp, or you may see a clipped cover, you may see a drill hole. This, of course, is Steely Dan's The Royal Scam. Look at that minimalistic, beautiful ABC Records white label promo. Let's take a closer look. Looking at this in the Matrix, you've got AZ for Alan Zentz. And the Matrix on this, it's a Terre Haute, by the way. Dash A, side 1, dash B, side 2. Super early. And this is a fantastic record. I don't have the UHQR of The Royal Scam, and I have no intention of getting it after finding this. And this thing is mint. One of my favorite artists from the 70s, Carly Simon. This is one of the lesser titles, but there are gems on every one of her records. Boys in the Trees. There's Urban Legend or a Fact. They actually had to paint on this top. She actually posed topless for this, and it didn't fly for a major release from a major artist at that point in time. Really nice gatefold. Standout tracks for this, You Belong to Me was the huge hit, and You're the One. I just love Carly records, and there is the Electra. This is going to be a recurring theme. There's the Electra white label promo. I just found this one last week. And this, of course, has got the Electra. I really love that kind of 360 promotional copy, not for sale, on the Electra titles. This was the greatest hits package that came out in, maybe 1975. And there is a custom Electra right there. White label promo. Here's another situation where I had the Rhino Hi-Fi, and I also had the Mobile Fidelity, the MoFi. I have moved on both of those audiophile pressings because I find this white label promo on the Asylum label to be just full of life. You can just tell this is an early cut. The Matrix are early as well. Let's take a look at that. This is A-3 on side 1 and B-3 on side 2. And the pressing plant is PRC West or PRC Compton. A really good fine pressing plant that was used in the late 70s and into the early 1980s. Now, the goal now is to find the self-titled Warren Zevon. He had a debut record in 1969 that was kind of forgotten, but that first record that came out in 1976? That is what I'm looking for right now, because there is word out there that those tapes are damaged. MoFi pulled. They had made an announcement that they were going to release the Mobile Fidelity Sound Lab recording, and they pulled that announcement when it was determined that the tapes were damaged. So the unicorn now is to find that white label promo for the self-titled, and that's just such an incredible record, as is Excitable Boy. What a thrill to find this at Driver 8 Records in Fort Collins. Everybody knows the Werewolves of London, but so many fantastic deep cuts from Warren Zevon. Tenderness on the Block, Accidentally Like a Martyr, Lawyers, Guns, and Money. It doesn't get much better than that. R.I.P. Bobby, and this was his like mid-70s like AOR kind of jazz tinged fusiony mainstream record. R.I.P. Clive Davis, because I think this might have been Clive's idea or he supported Bob to put out this solo record. He used a lot of LA session players on this, and there's a cover of there's a really tasty cover of Easy to Slip, the Lowell George composition. Bob Weir. Another recent Warren Zevon find. Notice a different. There's the Elektra label there, the promo announcement label, and there you have Bad Luck Streak and Dancing School. I think this was his fourth record, maybe his third. Fine record, overlooked. Let's keep it going. And here we have an A&M title, The Police, Outlandos d'Amour. I found this in Fort Collins at a place called Little Horse Vintage, and so very, very excited to find this. You don't see promo Police copies very often, and this was priced incredibly well also. But Next to You, So Lonely, Roxanne. Should we do a video about lead off the first three songs on a record? Have I done that before? That's hard to beat. Next to You, So Lonely, and Roxanne. Outlandos d'Amour. Another recent find, Draw the Line, and you have the gold stamp promo here. Telltale Sign, whenever you see a timing strip, you pretty much know that was a radio promo copy that was sent out to a radio station. There it is, the white label promo, this time on Columbia. Draw the Line, Kings and Queens, Milk Cow Blues. One of Aerosmith's better titles, but even better is a find from 2 weeks ago. Aerosmith Rocks, with the timing strip, with the embossed cover as well. Rocks in parentheses, later copies, there are no parentheses on Rocks. That Columbia white label promo, what an incredible hard rock record. Rocks, Aerosmith. Another recent find, and another timing strip, the first Journey record. This is pre-Steve Perry, remember? Greg Raleigh on lead vocals. And these were some extended tracks. This is like bordering into Psych territory after, after Neil Schon and Greg Raleigh had stepped away from Santana. This was the next big thing in their lives, Journey. Fun record. The hits just keep coming. One of my favorite Cheap Trick records. Heaven Tonight, with Surrender and On Top of the World, a California Man. There's a very nice a lead three on side one. And this was a white label promo on Epic. The next thing was really pretty cool. The next two records I'm going to show here, let's tidy these up. These were at the same shop on the same day that I went in. Someone had obviously sold off a collection, and I saw other promos in there that day for things I wasn't really interested in. But how about the Cars, Candy-O, Telltale Sign, Gold Stamp promo, and there is the Elektra white label promo right there. Similar thing, I moved on the Rhino Hi-Fi, and this thing is just so alive, so punchy, so much slam, and separation. Elliot Easton's guitar lines are just cutting through. This is a fantastic record. And on the same visit, sure enough, in the C section, like 4 records later, I find Shake It Up. You'll see that telltale gold stamp right here, and the Elektra white label promo. Now, Panorama wasn't issued on a white label. I do have a promo copy of that, but I'm not showing it because this is all about white label promos. Last but not least, I'm going to end with 2 Dylan titles that are fantastic, and let's lead off with Bob Dylan Saved. The religious period, ladies and gentlemen, don't sleep on this period. Make sure you get Shot of Love in addition to Saved. This is just some of his best singing ever. Impassioned, an incredible band, a tight band. You've got A Satisfied Man, you've got Saved, you've got In the Garden. Watch. There are videos from this tour with him doing In the Garden, I think in Toronto. Unbelievable. Solid Rock was a kind of a rave-up rocker. Last track on side 1. There is the Columbia white label again. And last but not least, we get another timing strip for Street Legal. This was recorded in Santa Monica, California at Rundown Studios. It was Dylan's kind of rehearsal space. And this is a big band record, lots of horns, lots of sax. It holds up. And he did, this huge big band kind of Vegas-y, almost Elvis-like tour. That shot has not aged well, Bob. Gold stamp promo and white label promo here. That's it. That felt a little indulgent, but you've got to celebrate the wins, and I like to share. That's what this channel is about. Thanks for watching. Please don't kill me in the comments, but this has been a hell of a 6 months of collecting, and what can I say? Take care.